master's in teaching English as a second language. And so that's what I did. I said, well, that's a great idea because that comes naturally to me, just correcting people's English, and I can get a higher degree. So that's what I did. And it was the best move I ever did. It was really good. Yeah. And I love it. Selena, I think you're on mute.
No, I wanted you to explain to them with the kind of students you work with.
Yes.
I mean, that's important. Pay attention to that because it is important. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So working at 2 different schools, I teach English as a second language, but the 2 schools are so different. The one school, which is Kaplan, that I worked at for 22, 23 years, up until recently due to COVID, they had to close. But that school got students from all over the world, and it was not a cheap school. And those students came and very highly educated and wanted to get their bachelor's degree here, or their master's, or just came for vacation English and then went home. So they would stay on average 6 months in the school, and they were highly educated and they had money because it wasn't a cheap school. And that was a great experience. I was with them for about 22 years and I enjoyed every minute of it. And then on the other hand, you've got the junior colleges where I worked at several colleges. And now I'm at a college called Saddleback College. And these junior colleges are state colleges. So the state of California pays for these colleges. And the English programs there are totally free. But the type of students are the ones who live here. So they've immigrated here and they don't speak English well. And they just want to know how to go to the supermarket, go to the bank, go to the doctor's office, these things. So it's a total different atmosphere. Yes, a different ball game where I'm teaching English as a second language at both schools, but for totally different reasons, and the levels are different. And usually the ones who come to the college are their financial situations are not the best, and the education might not be the highest, like the ones who came to Kaplan. So, yeah.
Right.
But
in some way, yes, in some way, what they are seeking is to improve their language, to improve their English.
Right,
yeah?
Right.
That's why, for example, Maggie has a lot of Japanese students, Chinese students. Yes, because they go to the United States to improve English.
Yes.
That is not possible for them.
That's a good point. So Selena, when I was in Gualeguaychú, I would teach just Argentinians, right? And that's what Selena does. But here you have the Japanese, the Korean, the Chinese, the Lebanese, the Egyptian, the Venezuelan, the Argentinian, the Italian, all in one classroom. So it's really fun for them too. They come to learn English, but end up, learning about each other's cultures. So that's neat. And of course, it's as a teacher.
And it's important to mention also, it is very important to mention, that Maggie speaks 5 languages.
I know. Well.
Wow.
That is a great advantage. Okay. Tell them about the languages you speak.
Actually, I would say 4 and then a few words. So my family's originally Arab, so then I speak Arabic, and then I learned Spanish in Argentina and have tried to keep that up. And then I'm divorced. My ex-husband is from Brazil, and so I picked up Portuguese as well. And then in school, I learned a bit of French, but I wouldn't say that I can speak French at all. So I get by. It's fun.
Okay. So who else? Come on.
In relation to what you were saying just moments ago about the colleges where you work, I would really like to know what features of American educational system would you highlight, or you think that are the best, that you would share with us as future teachers.
You mean what subjects they offer, or
No, like the organization, maybe.
sorry, could you repeat the question and with a bit more detail?
Okay, sorry. So, in your opinion, which is the best feature of American educational system,
Okay.
or something that you can highlight?
Yeah. So I'll say what isn't great is history and geography about other cultures. Americans are not too educated about that. And also, so the negative stuff, sorry, just the negative comes to mind. And then the level of education in other cultures is higher, like specifically for high schools. For high schools, we don't have the best high schools, in my opinion. Other cultures have better high schools, but the universities are amazing. Having said that, for high schoolers, there are so many clubs that you can join and be part of. And there are a lot of speakers who come to the classes and talk about all these organizations that you can do outside and how you can volunteer and help the community. This is a big thing here, volunteering. So it's all being part of the community, be part of the community. And so this is a huge advantage, I think, that is being taught here. Because I don't know if you guys have realized, but the American mentality is individualism. It's not the family. So we don't have, in general, we don't have strong family units like other cultures do. It's always, be strong as an individual and be the best you can be and depend on yourself. So then when these people come in and talk, there's all this support. Like you can get support here and get support there. And just talks about different things that are available. It's a huge advantage to being in this country, I think, where everything, if you have a problem with this finger, there's an organization for that. If you're blind with one leg, there's an organization for that. There's a lot of support groups, and they teach you about all that through high school. Yeah. I hope, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I think it's amazing.
Okay.
Okay, Maggie, I was absent for a very short time because I was looking for a map.
Okay.
Do you want to show it now?
Sure.
Yes. Okay.
So as I was saying, you guys, there are 50 states. 48 of them are stuck together, and they're called the 48 continental. It's the continental United States. And then 49 is Alaska, and 50 is Hawaii. And there are some American territories like Guam in Asia. There's Puerto Rico and some islands, but they're not states. They're just American territories.
Okay.
Let's see.
So let's see if you can see the map now. Wait a minute.
Okay. Oh yeah, great.
Yes.
I'm almost.
Okay. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. So
yes,
you can tell them about it.
So what you can see is all the colored area is the United States, and then to the north is Canada, and then to the south is Mexico, and then to the right you see the Gulf of Mexico. And what we don't see here is Alaska and Hawaii. So that would be Alaska is the northwestern part. So you have to go through Canada to get to Alaska. And then west over the Pacific Ocean, 5 hours by plane, is Hawaii. So these states are 48 states, and they're called the continental United States. And each state has a capital, as I said. You can see California on the western part there. So you see Sacramento up there, right there, exactly where Selena's mouse is. And that's the capital of California. And then San Francisco, Los Angeles, and then they haven't shown San Diego, but it's really south, almost to the border with Mexico. Before COVID, Americans could go back and forth easily with Mexico. And so I've been to Mexico several times. You just drive across and you can go as deep down south as you wish, depending on how much time you have. And you don't need a passport or anything. You just show your driver's license when you come back up. You guys can see that peninsula right there. That's Baja California. And that's the part where when I was in Argentina, people would think I was from that peninsula. But then you can see how California is attached to it and up, and that's Alta California. But nobody says Alta anymore. It's just California.
Maggie, Mission Viejo must be here.
Oh yeah. So yes, exactly. More west. So move your mouse to the left, left, left. We're about 20 minutes away from the beach. So yeah, like really close to the coast.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, correct. And then the capital of the United States is Washington, D.C., which is all the way to the right. You can see on the Atlantic over there.
Yeah.
And down, yep, over there. And Washington, D.C. D.C. stands for the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia. And so Washington, D.C. is the capital of the country, but it is not a state, and nor does it belong to any state. It's just a district. So we've got the 50 states and then the district, which is the capital.
The point is that there is a state called Washington.
Yes,
But
I was
the
going to get to
city
that.
is not in the States.
It is in the states. It's part of the states. But it's called Washington State.
Yeah.
So you have to say Washington, D.C. or Washington State to differentiate between those two. Correct?
That's good. Okay.
And then Washington, D.C. D.C. stands for the District of Columbia, and Columbia in respect for, Christopher Columbus, who came over and supposedly discovered the United States, but of course he did not discover it. The American Indians were here way before he ever got here, and then there were other people even before them. And so it's a big insult to the American Indian. And in fact, we have Christopher Columbus Day, and there's this huge fight against, we no longer want to celebrate Christopher Columbus Day because he did not discover this land. What else? You guys asked me questions.
I don't know if you saw the notice saying that we have 10 more minutes. So what we can do is just either follow with this conversation, or we can enter with another link, to a new meeting. I don't know what you want to do, guys. Okay, so somebody else wants to ask Maggie another question?
I would like to.
Sorry.
Yes, my name is Juliana, and I wanted to ask you about if you can give us any kind of advice about learning this language, because we are going to be in the future teachers. So I want to know if you have any advice for us.
Yes, yeah. If Selena, if you want to stop share, and then I can see you all again. Yes, so the number one advice I would have is read. Read as many English books that you can get your hand on. Reading is amazing. It exposes you to the spelling, the pronunciation, the punctuation, the structure, new vocabulary, new ideas. It's just amazing. Reading is amazing, and you can go at your own pace, highlight things, write the definitions in Spanish or however you want to do it. It's amazing. But my advice for reading is two things. Read something that's interesting to you, and then not too difficult. Because if I read a Spanish book and it's too difficult, I'll get bored. I get bored easily. And so I'll just put it aside and I won't see it again. And then I love horses, animals in general. I'll read something about animals or whatever topic I want to focus on and get the vocabulary for that topic. But I have to have it interesting to me. It has to be interesting for me and not too difficult. So I don't want more than 3 or 4 difficult words per page. And that way I can focus on the structure and the spelling and all that. So reading is a big one. Another one is watch movies, you guys, in English as much as you can. And if you're going to teach American English, watch American movies versus British or vice versa, whatever your interest is. And then you get to hear the phrasal verbs and the idioms that Americans use so much, and that my students struggle with, because they're a lot of fun. Phrasal verbs are great and idioms are great, but it takes a long time to get the the idea of what that idiom is about. I remember when I was in Gualeguaychú and I wanted to learn Spanish, I watched Friends a lot in Spanish. It had English subtitles, but they were speaking in Spanish. It was dubbed, D-U-B. It was dubbed in Spanish, and then they had the English subtitles. And that helped me so much because I knew the humor and the mentality, of course, of Friends, because I had watched it over in the States. But hearing it in Spanish and then seeing it in English again really helped me with new words and how, the idioms in Spanish and how you guys say things. That was very cool. So reading and movies. And then YouTube is just amazing. I mean, just, if anything you can get your hands on, you guys, live in English, think in English. Yeah. Also, so I lived about a year in Buenos Aires, and I remember I was sharing an apartment with this person who helped me a lot with my Spanish as well. So one day we spoke just in English because that person wanted to learn English. I wanted to learn Spanish. And then one day it was all Spanish. That helped me a lot. So I had to, even though I would get headaches, my brain had to think in Spanish, and it really helped. As we all know, the brain is a muscle and we have to exercise that muscle. So the more I spoke in Spanish, the more my muscle got, stronger. So as much as you can, just immerse yourself in English. If you can find somebody in Gualeguaychú who speaks English that you can sit next to on a bench, like a native speaker, and just, do it like twice a week, buy them a sandwich, buy them a coffee, and just have fun. Yeah. Selena, I think you're on mute again. I can see lips moving, but there we go.
I was saying that Carolina, you haven't asked any question. Carolina.
Yeah. I have a question about the current situation. First, hello, sorry. I'm Carolina. I have a question about the current situation with COVID and all the restrictions. How are you dealing now and the past year? How did you do with classes? And because here we take always United States as the best example, but we actually are not sure how you manage that.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I'm sure you guys heard that under Trump, it was really bad. I'm not a Trump fan, and it was really bad under Trump. He was in denial for so many months, and it delayed us so much in getting the vaccine. 50% of this country is pro-Trump and 50% are not. And so it was a huge battle, and it still kind of is. But now under Biden, our new president, it's much better. We have the vaccines. I've been vaccinated. Everybody,
Where are you?
Sorry?
You were vaccinated as well?
I got my first vaccine,
Yeah.
and my second one is in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have Pfizer and Moderna. Those are the two major ones. And then we have Johnson & Johnson, which has had, some problems came out with blood clots. And so then they stopped Johnson & Johnson until they can, investigate it and research it a bit more. But now it's been fine. California is a Democratic state. We do have Republicans, of course. Trump is Republican and Biden is Democratic. So California follows Biden, and we've been able to roll out a lot of vaccines, and the situation is so much better. We have some states that are Republican and that are, who still rebel and do not want to be vaccinated. So there is that battle still going on.
Yes, no, because the last time we were talking, you hadn't been vaccinated yet. That's why I was surprised. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's like, whew, now we can relax more.
Yes, but all the same you go on teaching online.
Yes, yes, thanks. So for teaching, yeah, it's ever since COVID started in, in 2020, actually 2019, right? At the end of it, we started going online in about March, I believe, with both schools. I started teaching online, and it's still online. And so this spring semester at Saddleback College is online, and then the summertime will be also online, the summer semester. And then the fall, they're thinking about doing it 50-50, which they're calling hybrid. So,
But here, that is what is happening here.
Oh yeah, okay.
Here it is called as sort of bimodal. That is, it's 50-50. Some teachers give their classes face-to-face, and some other teachers do it online, as myself.
Yes.
Yes,
So
depends
we'll
on the
see.
teacher.
Yeah, we'll
that's
see
it.
how that works out.
Okay. Yes. What other question would you like to ask her before we run out of time?
Yeah, there's a minute.
Yeah.
I'm starting.
I have. Oh, hi. I have two questions. What kind of? Well, you know that here we listen like cumbia and reggaeton and something like that and stuff like that. But what kind of music do they listen in there in America?
Yeah, it's so widespread. It's so individual. There's the rap and the heavy metal and the soft metal and the rock and roll, and then I mean it's just endless. The blues. I love to listen to a lot of Spanish music. I love cumbia. I love salsa. I love merengue.
Maggie, before we run out of time, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this interview. Thank you very much for being with us and answer all these questions and talk to us. And
it was such a
all of
pleasure.
them will be very happy.
Such a pleasure to see and meet every one of you. And thanks to Selena for this opportunity. Selena's like my sister. I love her so much. And
yes, me too.
Yeah, and Jose, it was great seeing you
Thank
again.
you, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie.
Well,
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
See you.
Yeah, the last thing I can say that Maggie.
Celine. Thank you, Celine, for the invitation.
And